this actually happened. Or at least, that's what the locals claim. Emma walked alone down the empty city streets, the flickering streetlights casting long, trembling shadows across the cracked pavement. The wind whispered through the trees, carrying a cold chill that made her shiver. Something felt off. She couldn't explain why, but a creeping unease gnawed at the edges of her mind. Ahead, an old, abandoned house loomed. Its windows were shattered, the paint peeling, and the front door hung slightly ajar. A faint, flickering light glimmered from inside, almost as if it were inviting her in. Against her better judgment, curiosity pushed her forward. The moment she stepped inside, the house seemed to breathe. Floorboards groaned under her weight, and shadows stretched unnaturally along the walls. Emma's heart raced as she slowly climbed the staircase, each step echoing in the oppressive silence. At the end of the hallway, she found a door she hadn't noticed before. It was old and scarred, the kind of door that seemed to hide secrets better left untouched. She hesitated, her hand hovering over the cold doorknob. Then, with a deep breath, she turned it. The door creaked open to reveal a small, dimly lit room. A dusty table stood in the center, and against the far wall, an old mirror reflected the faint flicker of light. The air was thick, heavy, almost alive with something unseen. Emma felt a shiver run down her spine. She glanced at the mirror, and for a split second she thought she saw a shadow move behind her. Emma spun around. The room was empty, but when she looked back at the mirror, the shadow was closer now, hovering just behind her reflection. Panic surged. She reached for her phone and snapped a photo. On the screen, the shadow was grinning, its eyes dark and unblinking, as if it had been waiting for her all along. Emma stumbled backward, desperate to escape, but the room seemed to stretch, the corners twisting and shifting in ways that defied reality. She ran, slamming the door shut behind her. The world outside the door was not the city street she had known. Instead, she found herself in a strange, dark room filled with objects she didn't recognize. The air was thick, suffocating, and the shadows seemed to pulse with life. A cold voice whispered from the darkness, barely audible but chilling in its clarity. "You should have never come here." Emma froze, her eyes wide with terror. Behind her, a figure emerged from the shadows, smiling in a way that made her blood run cold, and then everything went black